Hi there, this is Phoenix. I'm going to be going over my ultimate base design and concept along with a few pointers for base building. Before anyone asks, this is official server 1 and it was farmed in 2 weeks with 2 to 4 active members a day working on it. Now, the first thing when working on any base design is based on location. Now, this thing is over on the glacier I call the 1010 Glacier, and is air access only. I'd rank it one of the top 4 places to build on the island map. Air access only means it's unable to be assaulted by Giganotosaurus and Brontos, which are normally the front line of powerhouses of any Dino Army assault, forcing their front line to be war Quetzals if they wish to break the defense. The location is also in the furthest corner of the snow, which means the opponent is forced to wear fur gear and or high quality hide just to keep the environment from constantly killing them, and must trek through the longest flight to arrive at the location. This is important because if their fur gear is damaged and breaks, they will more than likely be forced to retreat until their fur gear is repaired. The land on top is also very flat and allows you to build on heaps of foundations, which, on a side note, many persons make a common mistake of building on too many pillars when designing a base, creating a very large weakness if not protected properly. Another important benefit is the location is close to almost every type of resource: crystal, oil, obsidian, metal, and silica pearls, and all these benefits are just from the location itself. It's also next to the water, so it's easy to keep a water pen nearby. When designing a base, you need to have room for your dinos. Post a dino health nerf if your dinos are subject to being shot while in the open, and if you value your time and effort maturing and taming them, you should fully encase them to prevent this. Initially, the front gate needs to be an opening of about 3 wide, 4 tall, which allows Brontos and Gigas to come through, then throw up a behemoth gate to close it off. It is also super important to design your crafting room as the heart of your design and make sure that dinos' heads aren't poking through, preventing transportation or obstructing your path, or you walk around trying to be productive and create innovative ways to keep things productive and accessible, such as using drop vaults to prevent too much clutter, placing them next to your forges to prevent having to walk with tons of weight, since you can carry double your weight in items, but it's more efficient to aim rather than walk as a primary way to transport one thing to another, as well as using drop vaults for accumulating raid loot without having to sort them right after a raid. Some raids go on for hours and hours, and no one likes to sort raid loot after a hard day of blowing stuff up. Now first, to make sure the defenses are good, the design needs to be able to fit into a cube or rectangular prism of some sort. Just to reassure, not to confuse the design, doesn't need to actually be a cube or rectangular prism, but it should be able to fit into one. Otherwise you risk turrets line of sighting each other too much and should typically try to make it as boxy as possible, but that still leaves a lot of room for creativity as long as you understand how to make a perimeter of that design. Guard towers and pillboxes are common for most bases, however this base is well rounded with over 500 turrets on catwalks inside and out, and the base itself has built-in windows to snipe from, which this is important for sniping people off of turtles when they're trying to drain your bullets, sinking bullet after bullet into their Quetzals with long necks to weaken their offense, killing their birds or the players off their birds, etc., etc., all the while keeping your players safer from other snipers. Setting up a defense should also take into account current meta strategies, from Dodorex drops to C4 bombs to people sticking C4 to their Tridons and flying into your structure. You should take everything into account on how hard it would be for someone to offline raid you, how much time it would take. Currently in this version, cannons have just come out and the base is double layered with inner turrets as well and prevents any such threats that can bypass the external turrets to get shredded on the interior, and destroying that many external turrets with a cannon would be insane to even try to aim, let alone farm for. As long as you keep the plant species on the top set to all, it prevents the C4 bombing from all the wild dinos and or players. Large pillars on the top go up to prevent even more player C4 bombing. It's an extra obstacle to go through, and keep bullets high. In this case, most are filled to the brim, and you keep a ring of plant species around the bottom and coat every ceiling tile. This makes sure that it keeps things hard for opponents, because usually auto turrets aren't the toughest thing to deal with. It's the knockback and debuff from the plant species X. Keep the auto turrets and players only, making it so the turrets are harder to drain, and when the turrets are drained, it's usually from more higher priority targets. This even takes into account a defense against glitches, such as a shooting at dinos, while the behemoth gates are just outside of render, and the towers have inwards facing behemoth gates as the towers line of sight each behemoth gate. Now, why not elevators instead, you ask? And the short answer is they're just a major pain. They take up extra space I could be using for storage for dinos. Also, if an elevator gets broken, I have to demolish structures to get dinos out, and the only way to get through to the top, which, using the elevator, I have to line of sight all the defenses up top that it covers. All in all, I think having the 4th best base location in the entire map is the strongest benefit of the whole entire design. Still, offline rating is OP, so make sure to recruit from New Zealand, Aussie, UK, and different time zones of the USA, so you can always have someone online. So until next time, may the odds be in your favor. Also, Special shout out to all those who helped with this base and made it happen. Clowns, Banksy, Tristan, Vera, Cooper, Demand, Prano, and the rest of the boys. Thank you so much.